Sports-A-Delic, what is up? What is up? Do I have a treat? Do I have a treat tonight coming at us from the West Coast? We got live wire sports. He's coming at us. We're going to get into it because Deshaun Watson is not going to be indicted. The world is talking about it. We're going to talk about it. Come on over here in the studio. There he is, live wire. What's up? What's up? What's up? And oh my goodness, he's a commander.
Yes. I am die hard all the way back from the 80s to the present.
Lord, and we have been dying hard with our organization. so when we say die hard, for those of you all, our viewers, our fans, our subscribers, we die hard.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this oh man, I guess since Snyder took over, it's been one roller coaster after another. I mean,
since '98. Yeah.
I mean, when we draft, I'm gonna go all the way back to like when we drafted RG3. I mean,
2012.
I was talk about hype. I was hyped, talking the most trash. That was the year we were supposed to beat Seattle and go to the playoff, but he was hurt, and we had Seattle on the ropes. We had them.
But I talked so much crap in 2012. I mean, I was like, "We're back, baby, we're back!" And then in the playoff game, remember we went up 14-0. I was like, "We get ready to blow him out of here," and then the slippage and
I think if RG3 didn't had damaged his ankle, his knee in that game, we would have blown them out. We had them on the ropes. They couldn't do nothing with us. I mean, we had the momentum. We was at home, So therefore, I think when he hurt his knee again, that killed all the momentum that we had right there.
Yeah, it was a wrap. It was a wrap, at that point. But let's dive into now. It's no secret. To know me is to know Clemson is my alma mater. When this thing with Deshaun Watson, when I first heard about it, I was like, it's possible because it was a couple of chicks, a couple of chicks.
Yeah.
But then it seemed like every time I turned on the television, it was 3 more, 5 more, 6 more. And I remember Stephen A saying, it's getting to the point of so many accusations that it's looking more unbelievable. And that's what I was saying. And as a woman, I certainly, don't support, women being disrespected naturally, right?
Correct.
But also as a woman, don't put those type of accusations out there if you are not 100 about it, because often it ruins the reputation. It ruins the guy's career.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's found out that you were not exactly honest, there's no repercussions for the woman. And that's not right. It's like, they get settlements, they spend up all the money. And then it's like, oh, well, I lied, and then nothing happens to them. And I don't think that that's right.
They're correct.
So, I don't. And I caught some of his, he spoke after coming out of the courtroom, and he kind of got choked up. He was starting to talk, and he had to kind of get himself, together. And I understand just because someone's not indicted doesn't mean it isn't true. It just means that you all did a piss poor job of having people believe you. And I've always said court really isn't about guilt or innocence. It's really about who can be the most convincing.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. For me, I just, his situation, and just, touched on some stuff that happened with Chris Brown recently, that somebody tried to set him up again, through text messages. But good thing that he was up on game and he had the text messages, the conversations that went, and the girl was trying to extort him for money. But I think Chris Brown is going to pursue legal actions against this female and everything, because the situation with Chris Brown years ago with Rihanna. So he's never going to outlive that shadow, because that's going to be over him. So no matter what he does, people feel like, okay, he
disrespects women.
Yeah, he disrespects women. So therefore we're going to say, oh yeah, we believe you and this and that, and then entrap him, and then next thing you know, he's getting dragged in court for something crazy,
Right.
And the world we live in right now is very wicked, you know what I'm saying? Because everything is opportunity. Right. Anybody they can see they could get an opportunity off of you and get a payday, they're gonna go for it. And it's sad that Deshaun Watson fell into that category, because I've been a huge Deshaun Watson fan, even though I'm a Miami Hurricane diehard, but I rep ACC all day long.
That's right, Atlantic Coast Conference, baby.
So therefore, when any team from the Atlantic Coast is in the playoff or doing well, I support them.
I'm that way too. I'm going to support the ACC.
Yeah. So, and I've been a huge fan of Deshaun. I never wanted him to get drafted by the Texans, but hey, it was what it was. I feel like he could have been somewhere else, but he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and I just want to see him come back and really show people what they have missed, so, but it's sad, and like you said, you was watching his press conference, and I caught clips of it, and it just you could tell he wanted to break down, but he held it together.
Just
a relief, and like he said, it's not over. It's still work to be done and everything, but this is one step, towards the right direction.
Right. I think that I can only imagine, because let's just say it's the other way. Let's just say he's indicted, and now you're looking at possibly truly never playing again, or for a very, very long time. But I knew when he said if he should never play again, then so be it. But he's going to fight for his reputation. He's going to fight for his character. And that's what he left out there. I'm going to focus on rebuilding my name and my character and reestablishing myself in the community, and take off where, I left off from. And he said, this is just the power of, prayer. Yep. and his Lord and Savior, letting the truth, be shown. And now I do still respect the fact that there are women involved in this process that obviously feel, different about it. But just like we have to swallow any legal situation that we don't agree with, you have to just, kind of take this. And God rested their soul if they're not being honest. And women have to stop. Now, live wire, this may shock you coming from a woman, but I've always said here at Sports-A-Delic, we talk about facts and stats. And as a woman, if you want to be out here parading and glorifying side chicken, then when you got, you don't get to cry foul. You can't present yourself as all about the money and, pay to play. And you can't just think you're so beautiful that men should just spend their money on you. So when you find yourself on the other side of this coin after you have presented yourself a certain way. Like, I think you can dress however you want to, fine. But, like I'm heavy chested, I'm running around here with some double D's. I don't just throw the double D's out there in a blouse or something that's too small, or push them up with a push-up bra. You're a double D. I'm a double D. Ray Charles can see him, and God knows he's dead and blind. That they're big enough to be seen. But you have women that dress scandalous.
Yeah.
And you got these IG models, and they're out there half naked, but they don't want you, to say anything to them.
Yeah.
And men gonna be men. If they're shocked, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God," So it'd be no different if I seen a dude, shirt off, and he just comes skimping through and got on, some form-fitting tights or something. I mean, you look like, what's going on,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just, I see it so much, through Instagram. They got OnlyFans for Facebook. You see it so much. You see it a lot on TikTok. You see it so much where these women just seeking attention, and then some of them guys, they comment on there and say stuff, and the next thing you see them putting out these PSA statements, say, "Oh, well, I thank you for the comments, but I have a man," and all of this stuff. But I'm saying,
look at the respect that you're showing, right?
Exactly. And I'm just like, come on, man. As like me as a father, I have two daughters, 117, 113. They everything to me, and I always tell them, respect yourself. Don't do whatever somebody else does just to garner attention. Use your brain, your mind, your wisdom to get you into these doors. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to sell your body just to have just to get through the door, because at the same time, that one favor gonna lead to another favor. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get to the point where you don't got that success and you tired of it, then guess what's gonna happen? They gonna snatch the rug right from underneath you, and then you gonna stand there looking foolish. So,
right.
My thing is, my mom, she's been dead and gone. I have a sister. Most of my family is women, and I love them, respect them, and I respect all women. You know what I'm saying? And no woman should be vindicated, no vandalized or be sexually explicit, but you should not put yourself in that light at the same time.
Exactly. It's a twofold. Now Deshaun Watson obviously put himself in a bad situation.
Oh yeah.
Because what went through my mind is like, damn, how much massaging and rub down and stretching and shit do you need? I mean, I was an athlete, and I'm saying, damn. And then let's not forget, there was another 20 some odd women that said that they had nothing but a professional experience with him. These same massage therapists or whatever. Okay, so now it's really 35, 40. And I'm saying, come on, Deshaun, like, you don't need to. He needs to get a professional person. Well, I'm sure he has already self-analyzed and going to do everything, differently. If I was him, I wouldn't even be on Instagram. I would just do away with all of that, because it's too easy in our thirsty, hungry society to make accusations, and it's going to cost you. You have the most to lose in the situation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So he has to hold himself accountable for some of that. What has taken place.
And what I noticed earlier was that watching some of the clips of some of the NFL correspondents was talking about the Ben Roethlisberger situation, and then they brought up what's the guy's name, Ezekiel Elliott. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was talking about how there was no criminal action, but there was suspension. And I was
6 games.
Yeah, 6 games. And I was like, it's just that it's just the thing about it is that you're gonna have to, when you come back into the league, you're gonna have to rebuild your character. Now, Ezekiel Elliott has done a great job, but you could tell his star status since then has not been the same. You know what I'm saying?
Well, his game hadn't been the same.
Oh yeah, well, that's true too. Cowboys absolutely stuck him and Dak. I think Dak get paid all that money just not to go get put out the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So, but Zeke, you're right. Zeke game has not been the same. I think this could be his last year there, but nevertheless, is that something like this it could damage your mindset, or it could make you stronger going forward.
Bingo. And certainly been in the counseling profession, that's what goes through my mind. It's not so easy to just pick up, because we won't know until he gets back in football what true mental toll that this has taken on him, because he went from being so focused and locked in. And I'll give you an example, because this is really what you want when you talk about a young player that you make your franchise. Now, 2017, when he came in the league, he, had what, 1,600, almost 1,700 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and he finished with a 103, QBR. Now, 2018, he came back with a vengeance, 4,165 yards, 26 touchdowns, still right there with that 103 QBR. 2019, this is when he was really on some wild tear. Remember, he had 26 touchdowns, 5 games, like he was getting ready to shatter
a lot of records.
And the ACL happened, that whole thing. And then before this craziness happened, he was leading the league, 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns.
Wasn't that the same year, the year he tore his ACL, and that's the year he went up to Foxborough and beat Tom Brady?
No. He didn't beat him.
But he almost beat him.
Yeah, he had to go. If their defense had, only thing the defense has to do.
Yeah.
It was like, but it's Brady when you get down to those last 2 minutes and something. But if the defense do their job, he had brought him all the way back. But that was an incredible. Yeah, that was incredible. They were slinging it out there.
Oh yeah. I remember I was like, man, they going toe to toe. This is before like Patrick Mahomes even became Patrick Mahomes, because Deshaun Watson, he literally was the top dog in the AFC at that time, behind Brady, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Because Lamar was there. He was just getting established, with Jim Harbaugh though. And then, Patrick Mahomes did, but they wasn't really ready at that time. And then Deshaun took off, and then, like you said, when he got hurt, then everything just was a tailspin from that point.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what really gets on my nerves. Who the hell is Mel Kiper and Todd McShay? My thing is, they get to what I think one of them was a journalist. They were not athletes, is my point, but somehow they have wormed their way into being what is considered a true NFL draft expert. And they are wrong more often than they're correct.
I said this the other day, and and I was like, why do we have to listen to Mel Kiper and Todd McShay? Because they really in competition with each other. They friends, but they both try to pinpoint. Yeah. And this is where I got like I'll be on the Bleacher Report community, and then some of the other Washington Commanders content creators, and everybody just kept saying Malik Willis, Malik Willis. Oh, he had a great combine. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what everybody talk about. So I have my own insight on it. I seen him. That's okay. He talented. He could run, strong arm, but not accurate. I said, but at the same time, he's short. I said, you're gonna have to do him like you. But the only difference between him and RG3 was taller and he had an arm and he was faster. I said, Malik Willis. Somebody told me, so well, he has a high ceiling. I said, yeah, high ceiling, but he could have a low ceiling too. I said, that's not the only quarterback that's in the draft. I said, y'all just looking at the athletic part of it. It's more to that. I said, look at Lamar Jackson. He had to learn how to be in the pocket and throw while still be explosive with his legs. I say Washington don't need a quarterback just to run around all the time. They need somebody to get the ball down the field. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like Dak Prescott. What are we talking about? 6th, 7th year in the league, and he's still struggling reading defenses.
Exactly.
And so, if you don't have that guy that can stand in there, but again, Todd McShay, Mel Kiper, and these NFL owners and managers listening to them about Deshaun Watson and what he can't do.
Yeah.
But they should have just called Nick Saban.
Yeah.
See, in 2016, when we beat Alabama, the national championship, it was partly because, Saban set up the defense. I don't think he can beat us with his arm. And then he threw for almost 400 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so only thing they have to do is go back to that and realize, wait a minute, maybe he can. Maybe he can.
And the one thing I do like about Deshaun, he's not just a running quarterback. He runs when he needs to, but he's willing to stand back there and throw that ball down the field. And that's what the stigma of the black quarterback that just want to run, he changed that because he literally reversed it to where he wants to stand back there and throw the ball and make them do precision passes across the middle, the ins and outs, and then when he needs to take that shot, he could take it. And then if he has to run the ball, he'll run it. But all the passing stats that you ran down is shared from him being in the pocket and throwing the ball, not just using his legs here and then just like how will Russell Wilson do, scramble all around, then all of a sudden out of time and then just fling it down the field. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, that's the thing. Live wire, it lets you know. Now we're not NFL draft scouts. We're not these experts. Mm-hmm. So why the hell we can see it? Why we can see it, but they need Todd McShay or Mel Kiper to tell them, and they can't seem to see what we're looking at.
They see it. They just need a storyline. That's all it is. They need to create their own storyline. So the fact of the matter is that they could pump up who they want to get picked number one. You know what I'm saying? Or who have a push on somebody's to have a high draft stock. You know what I'm saying? Because technically, if they wasn't even talking about Malik Willis draft stock probably won't even be in the top 10. He's probably, most of the quarterbacks that's there in the draft, I love Desmond Ridder. That's my guy. I'm telling you, I love him to death. To me, I feel like he's made for Washington. He's that quarterback for Washington.
My God.
But they was talking about Pickett, his hands too small. How I like Carson Strong, but all of them could be second round picks. They don't have to be the first pick of the draft.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I think Howell is the real deal. I think he's the real deal. The bottom line is every quarterback, in order for him to be successful, people always talk about the offensive line. Well, even with an offensive line, if he doesn't have a bona fide running back, he's going to struggle. You got to have that guy that keeps those linebackers at bay.
Mm-hmm.
And how, he had two of the best running backs in the ACC. Those guys, when they were drafted, had over 1,000 yards. Both guys in one season.
Don't I know firsthand?
Right. Right. But he's the real deal.
Yeah.
And he has a high IQ for the game. Strong. He's accurate as hell. I would be happy with him, but like you said, not at 11. Like, if somebody else get him, then fine. But if we can circle back to him or get him later or whatever, and give him a chance to develop. We don't need anybody that needs to be severely developed. And then we ain't got no damn body to develop them. Let's just be real. Like Gruden, he was supposed to be this quarterback developer. It was supposed to be such a wonderful relationship with him and RG, but at the end of the day, they didn't want RG. Shanahan didn't want him. Snyder wanted him. We know what that was about. Mm-hmm. So therefore, you're not my guy. I'm not going to, develop you. But when it comes to Watson, his maturation from his freshman year at Clemson to his junior year was incredible. It was an incredible maturation process, and his IQ. And I give credit where, look, Randall Cunningham was doing all of this crap before Michael Vick, before RG Jackson, all of them. He could tear you up with his arm or he'd tear you up with his legs. But although he was Hall of Famer, they still have never really given him that credit for being that dude. And I think it's systemic racism, some of it may be, because nobody ran around to the detriment of their career. His career ended early as a result, and that damn Steve Young. But he was never talked about as just being athletic or just being an athletic guy who just happens to be playing quarterback. And it's almost like it's a bad thing if you are a dual threat. You got defensive end and linebackers running faster than, most cars. You better be able to run. You better be able to get out the way.
Tell me about it. Like, for instance, like when it comes down to, when they always say that, hey, Stephen A. Smith will say, well, Aaron Rodgers is the best thrower of the football, and I was like, you got to look at the guys that came before him. To me, I say nobody gives Warren Moon a lot of credit.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Warren Moon, he probably was one of the hardest throwers of the football that was ever in the game. And I say he put up just as great numbers than Steve Young, than, not as much as Dan Marino, because you know how long Dan Marino been with the Dolphins. Then you look at how Doug Williams' career went from Tampa, then came and played for Washington. I say, but then you have Randall Cunningham over there the same way. And it's just like they use Steve Young, like you said, they use Steve Young as, oh, well, he was very athletic and ran. But guess what? He had a lot of concussions too.
Right, because he was getting blasted. and that's why he had to go ahead and get on up out of there.
Yeah.
But he's just an athletic guy. You remember Jeremy Shockey, the tight end?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Very cocky, very arrogant, very in-your-face kind of guy. But the commentators were always like, oh, he's competitive. He's a guy that you want on your team. He's hard-nosed, he's tough. But, when someone that doesn't look like Jeremy Shockey is just as arrogant, just as hard-nosed, just as passionate, just as tough, it's no place in the game for that.
Yeah.
And I get it. I personally don't see anything wrong with it. You score a touchdown, you celebrate, God knows. And speaking of celebration, Did you notice that I was enjoying myself over here?
I noticed that. I was like,
Did
whoa.
you
I
notice I
like,
was getting into it?
yeah, I see that. I see that.
Now you might be drinking some water, but I can assure you I'm not. Okay.
No, it's iced tea.
Well, again, this is not iced tea.
Yeah, I can tell.
But I'm glad that you accepted the invitation to come on my platform, talk about this. And for our viewers, this is part one. I think that you were going to invite me to your platform for
Yeah,
part two.
I think we'll do part 2 on Sunday.
Part two on Sunday. Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
what will happen. I will, you know, humbly accept, the invitation, because I think on Sunday, um, I'll try to be on my best behavior since it's the Sabbath. But I got a feeling now that Deshaun's legal criminal aspect is behind him, that people are
Mm.
going to be saying they're going to be saying some stuff that's going to touch one of my nerves. So I'm gonna try to
Oh,
be. I'm gonna try to keep it holy. Okay.
I seen some of it on Twitter. I follow Josina Anderson on Twitter and on her page, and I seen a lot of comments because people don't know the legal aspect of it, and they just jump to conclusions because they were saying she had a tweet out there saying something that this is what I guess money, and somebody ran with it, said, oh well, he paid them off, and somebody had to correct them and say no, he didn't pay them off because
The grand jury.
no, yeah, no, the witnesses, the accusers. And so, and somebody had to like correct that person and say, no, he technically paid his lawyer. His lawyer did all the work for him. And then somebody said, oh, well, this is what money gets. It's like, okay, but at the same time, you want a man to be found guilty when you still don't know all the logistics of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much going on to it, going into the situation. So therefore, yeah, he has money to pay his lawyer, and this is what his lawyer is supposed to do: fight for his freedom, get him to be, fight for his innocence. He ain't paid nobody yet because he already said that he was not planning on paying them a dime. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank his lucky stars that he had the money to get the type of legal representation that he's going to need for something like this. And again, um, with all sensitivity in this statement, um, I understand that there are these women out here that was involved that feels like they are being re-victimized and that the grand jury got it all wrong. The reality is they didn't believe you. They got a chance to listen. They didn't believe you. And I just believe when and if they didn't believe 9 people, they're saying that these things, happen. But based on the allegations and the accusations, and I get full body massages, and I don't have on, any, I get, I don't have on anything as well. Um, I'm saying that to say this. Some of the accusations is just stuff that happens if you're giving a massage and somebody is nude. And
Mm-hmm.
and a man can't control, like if a man is quote unquote turned on, it's very difficult for you all to hide it,
Yeah.
you know. But is it sexual assault if you get a massage and you become excited and she's like, oh, and then I mean you're a massage therapist. If you ain't seen a naked body or a body part or you can't handle that, you need to get out of the profession.
Yeah.
Now, and then the other ladies that said that he forced oral sex on them. I was just like,
That right there is like, come
That
on.
one was, yeah. I mean, you can force a lot of things on me, but you ain't gonna be able to force that one on me, especially when I have teeth in my mouth. But and then okay, but let's just say you really were afraid and you just gave in because you really feared for your life and your safety, and you did it. The moment I got in my car, I would have locked my doors, and right there in front of his house, I'm calling 911, and he would have been arrested right then. I
Exactly.
mean, it's just some things that happen. Uh, you have to just say something about it and take it to the right channels. You know.
Yeah, I agree. And something that somebody was commenting on something. I was looking through comments, and they touched on it and said that and I feel the same way too, that the Houston organization, the owner, has something to do with it, and knowing that
Mm,
and knowing that the owner's lawyer lives right down the street from him.
mm,
So it's like, so because how all of a sudden, Deshaun, you know, say he didn't want to be there, he want to trade, and all of a sudden all of this stuff stopped popping out of nowhere, and you having all of this disdain for Deshaun Jackson, but then you was willing to pay him that large contract. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of fishy. Like I said, it's a lot of
well,
fishy
the
stuff.
owner did say, let's not forget, he did say something to the effect, you can't let the inmates run the prisons.
The asylum. Yeah.
So I mean, he is who he is, and I don't know that he tried to hide it.
No, he ain't had it because,
Right.
and that right then and there, that's what made Sean say, I don't want to be at a place like that, because just, I mean, we gonna call it the way it is. There's a lot of owners in there, especially our owner at Washington. Same thing. He got a, all it is, now that the correctional people that had to get involved because another woman came out and said that he tried to force himself on him. Saying, yeah, the league could do fine you, but at the same time, if more allegations come up, there has to be recourse for action, because you look at Jerry Jones' situation with his cheerleaders, and now he got a 25-year-old daughter that nobody knew about until.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Allegedly.
No, yeah. Well, you better than me. I ain't giving him nothing, because you paying for her, you still paying them to be quiet.
Look, sexual exploitation of women and children. The reason why this is big business and they can't seem to, make a dent in it and get it under any kind of control is because it plays into the whole entire bravado and narrative when it comes to men.
Mm-hmm.
Older men, like younger women. When 99% of the time, when a couple that's been married 25, 30 years, when she's cheated on, it's with a younger woman.
Mm-hmm.
We know Hugh Hefner, young women.
Man.
And so multi-millionaires, they have these parties. And Epstein, the bottom line is that has always been, the case.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for them to bring these things to a halt, it's going to expose, I just think, some people that will really be eye-opening. Like,
yeah. Like I always say, I said, the people that you think that ain't doing it, when it all comes to that explosion, you're gonna be like, whoa. And I told people, I said,
like Darren Sharper.
oh my gosh, this dude was the predator of all predators. I was like, And
I thought he was so handsome. And I'm like, what the hell?
I was a huge fan of Darren Sharper with the Saints. And I just thought being as a safety, and then when he got that gig on NFL Network, him, Marshall Faulk, all of them, I was like, all right, cool. Next thing you know,
he was something else.
And then Marshall Faulk got knocked off. Warren Sapp got knocked off. I was like, what is?
Well, Warren Sapp was he got knocked off for just really being a sap. Yeah. Okay, no pun intended. Before we get out of here, would you take time to share with the viewers about your channel, and you can give them a peek into what we're going to talk about part 2 to make sure that they tune in.
Well, all right. As most of y'all may know, I go by the name Livewire Sports and Entertainment. I cover a lot of the things in sports, from baseball, basketball, football, etc. And along with my team, the Washington Commanders, Chicago Bulls, and the Miami Hurricanes, and Atlanta Braves. Let's not forget the world champion Atlanta Braves. So,
go Yankees!
Oh my gosh, I see this is going to be a long season for both of us.
One hell of a relationship.
Yes, yes. So, you can catch me on YouTube, and I do have a Facebook group called Livewire Sports Entertainment. And also, you can catch me on IG, Livewire Sports, Twitter, Livewire Sports 1. And for Sunday's episode, we will do a part 2 of the Deshaun Watson situation, dig a little bit deeper, what we want to expect for him once he get back into the league, and how that he could get his career back revived, and want to know what will be the right team for him, the right fit for him to resurrect his career, so to speak.
I will be ready when you ask that question to me, because but I want to clear the air. I know that our Commanders was out there like, why the hell they didn't wait? Because I call him Carson Wentzing. Why did we wait? The Commanders would not be a good fit for Deshaun Watson. I mean, we have a congressional hearing coming up about sexual harassment, and I can promise you those allegations and accusations definitely have probably more truth to it. So, yeah. And Deshaun doesn't, and I'm sorry, but Deshaun doesn't, he doesn't need to be in a sensitive environment like that, because he's had enough for people making accusations. So.
And to your point, because when behind the scenes when me and you talked about it, I was one of the ones that say, they should have waited. And then when you hit me with it, I was like, oh, and I thought about it. I was like, you know what? That do make sense, because Snyder's still over there messing up, and then they got their own stuff going on. Yeah, even though we got Ron Rivera there, but Deshaun just coming out of the situation, and then he has to be under another cloud of allegations, and especially trying to be the face of a franchise. That's not a good look. So,
live. Let me say this. I hate to say it, but the only quarterback coming to our Washington Commanders team is a guy like Carson Wentzing. Anybody that just needs to be on somebody's roster, because if you have any type of moral fiber, character, you really care about your career, you care about how people are treated, you care about from the head down to the feet, you're not coming to us.
Yeah.
You're not coming to us. Yeah. Like, people are like, and we did, like, some jackasses attempted to go after Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson embodies respect for women, love, God, all the things that Snyder seemed to just not care as much about. So who's going to go? I mean, even Discount Double Check, with his questionable, no vaccination, mincing words as.
Yeah.
Even he's like, oh, I'm bad, but I ain't that
bad. Right? If Aaron Rodgers ain't going to want to come, you ain't getting nobody for real. And he's just god awful. So yeah,
exactly.
I give you A+ on that. You hit the head on the nail right there, because our organization is so dysfunctional right now. And like I said, until we could get Snyder completely out of there, that's the only way we're gonna be relevant at some capacity. Last year last season I had a lot of high hopes for this team.
We coming off of divisional champs. Sure, we were 7-9, but our defense, man.
I fought the defense for Jack Del Rio because he didn't put them in the right position that he needed to, and then London Stupid Collins, that's why I call him London Stupid Collins, refused to go down in the box. So you didn't win in the box until we start getting hit with COVID and injuries. You know what I'm saying? But if you did that,
which made the difference,
because honestly, we had these hard games last year. Some of those games we could have won. You know what I'm saying? Like the Green Bay game, the doggone Kansas City game, the doggone San Diego game. Doom was 3 games that we were in there.
We were in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's what it is until a lot of us, I see a lot of Washington fans that they are realistic, and they say the same things that we say about the organization. It's just that nobody's gonna come here. We are gonna continue to get scraps, especially at the quarterback position, unless we just end up drafting a quarterback right out and not
somebody that really don't have too much say so over their career.
Exactly. So
because what's attractive about coming to our organization right now?
We changed the name, we got new uniforms, but we still a dumpster fire.
Right. Yeah. So there you have it.
So
like I said, poor Jack, Jack Cook. Well, John, the son, he came out and said that he regret turning that team over, that Snyder had done a great snow job on him, because he thought that he said all the right things, and he thought that because we used to have a world-class organization, like, to Robert Kraft's credit, they're able to win up here and keep their payroll down here. And you didn't hear about people dying to get out of there. So they had an awesome culture. Now, I understand Belichick and Tom Shady, some things may have went on. But as far as how the organization is ran, you just didn't hear a whole lot of madness.
I'm just tell you, I'm a huge Tom Brady fan, been always, but I commend him for getting out of there, from under Belichick, and went somewhere to win without him. And he still got one more chess move in his pocket, but we'll touch on that another day, and I'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So I now know when we played Tampa Bay that you really wasn't pulling for.
No, I was pulling because Taylor Heineke came out of nowhere.
I don't know how you can be so in love with Brady and be put. I feel some kind of way about what you said. I feel some kind of way about what you said.
Well, if I could snap my fingers and do like that, I would. But I follow his career from Michigan and stuff like that. It's just, I just have certain people that I follow. But nevertheless, we're not gonna
That's what you do. You come on my show and say crazy shit. Okay. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you Sunday.
Trust me, I know.
I'm coming for you.
With that glass, that glass in hand, that's
that glass in your ass. Yes, because I felt some kind of way.
Let me ask you a question. And this is the Washington Commanders question. Who you think we should draft another running back? Because I understand, Gibson has some issues. with fumbling. So,
no, I think McKissick is that dude. He's proven that. And the young guy that we stole, his name escapes me.
Patterson.
I think that they're perfect. Their styles complement one another. And I like Gibson. It's not Gibson's fault that he was a converted receiver.
Yeah.
You know, and he's nasty. He just, and those are mechanical things, you know, that, needs to be addressed. But I think because of those guys, it will keep Antonio working on his game and getting that fumbling under control, because I don't know that he fumbles a lot as much as the times that he decides to cough it up.
It's the key moments. Damn. It's the key moments when he does it.
And it's usually trying to do too much, you know, like when he gets that first level of contact, he know they coming, just go ahead and cover it up. You know, they chopping, they pulling. Yeah. And then, like I said, he's a receiver. So some of that contact, he's really not about that life.
Okay.
You know?
Well,
so that's what I think.
Yeah, that's first thing.
But they're running backs, you know, they're like toilet paper now. You're gonna always need them, so it won't hurt.
Yeah. Well, the first thing first, they're gonna have to resign McKissick back. So that's one thing they have to get done.
Yeah. But once again, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And
thank you.
I look forward to joining, your show on Sunday. And go Tigers! Go Watson! Go!
Well, I appreciate you having me. Until the next time, I salute. Peace.
Commanders, baby. I command you to have a good time.
All right. You too.
Bye-bye.